Good morning. Good morning. A lot is happening really fast, and a lot of information is getting flooded in from a ton of places. This is why I always say go to my website. If you go to my Substack, you can see where I go into a deep dive about everything I talk about. But I wanted to bring up something. This is not entertainment. Politics should not be entertainment. Whether or not an individual appeals to your entertainment side, the name calling, the screaming back and forth, the heckling. There are an estimated 23 million Floridians. 60%, and you will find this in my Substack on the article I just posted. 60% of those Floridians, which is 13,800,000, make less than $85,000 a year. There's your numbers. When I'm trying to talk to you, I don't want to just give you percentages because you need the percentage of what information, because it's important. Some of the things that I wanted to bring to you that is important to me is the impacts of the big beautiful bill that we're going to see will be 400 to 600 Floridians could lose SNAP benefits. 200,000 to 400,000 Floridians could lose medical coverage. 1.5 to 2 million Floridians could face higher health premiums. Do you understand why these numbers are important? Because when they throw out a percentage, maybe you're not thinking that's you. Maybe you're not thinking that. But I want to tell you something. There are children that are part of this. There are people in Florida that are part of the things that could become a problem. There are. And I definitely wanted to bring up, because it was important, it just happened today, July 1st. $6.8 billion is being held from public schools. Now, I know for a fact that there are Floridians whose children go to public schools. You can find this article on Education Week, edweek.org, and you can find this article. Here it is. The Trump administration is holding back nearly $6.8 billion in federal funding for K through 12 schools. It was scheduled to roll out July 1st. Education Department staff told state education agencies on Monday afternoon, the day before the funding by law was required to start flowing. You were supposed to give us this money. Thousands of school districts in dozens of states that had banked on those funds to cover staff salaries, vendor contracts, curriculum material, technology tools, and other priorities will now have to consider slashing student services, including some mandated by federal law, or tapping other funding sources if the federal money doesn't show up on time or at all. Now, they're talking about the federal money, but what they really want to say is it's your money. It's already been taken for you to fund your children. And yeah, they're saying go to your school boards and talk to these people. Again, talking to these brick walls, because we don't have legislative authority as citizens, which is why I'm here all the time trying to talk to you about putting me in the seat for governor, so that we can get legislative authority for citizens. We are clearly seeing all of the forms of government do something legislatively, statute-wise, and policy-wise to consolidate power under the executive department. This means that the rule of law is working and that those rights are being given away. Man, this is not entertainment. This is your life. I did have somebody say, hey, you know what? If you had better lighting, I bet you would. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to work for you. I'm here to put us in a position to where when we see problems happen, we can do something to solve them. Citizens, not just representatives. Every dime, this is now me going on my rant. Every dime that has been taken from citizens, every single dime that someone says they're not going to pay out the way they were supposed to, they're not giving you that money back. They're not giving me those tax dollars back. They're just not. So once your money is gone and it's supposed to be allocated to make things function, you don't have any say so. Something's wrong with that. It really is. But if we get caught up in the entertainment, they were supposed to, by all accounts, pass the big beautiful bill last night, but it did not happen. And I don't know if we're watching theater right now. We got people saying that, oh, there are 3 people that are not willing to. What do you mean 3? That means that there are 48 that are for it. The president tweeted out, hey, cut back a little bit. We can get it on the back end. Y'all are taking, hey man, we have a problem. And the representative portion of the problem is the part that I'm addressing. We put the wrong people in office and didn't remember to give ourselves the key to stop the problem from happening. That's really what happened. We had no safeguard in place as citizens. I'm running for governor of Florida to put the safeguard in place. But if you watch this video and you don't go to the Substack, read the extra information so you can argue factually, so you can bring up factual arguments. Those are not throw your fist arguments. They are opposition conversation when you need to correct somebody or push people in a better direction. Tampa Bay Times, they sent out an article, I think this past week, talking about candidates that are running for governor. Of course, I'm not going to be there. I'm not paying to get in that. I'm really grassrooting talking to citizens. When I go do town halls, I have to find a library. It costs me however much they charge, if they don't charge anything, to get a room that maybe is going to seat 50 to 60 people, and then send out a mass text message, ask you to come out and meet your candidate. I can't stitch because we don't even know if AI is messing with people. So I don't want to put weird things in my background. I don't want to look. I don't want to profess myself. I don't want to come out as if I'm not a real person, understanding that there are real issues. Let's not even mention, if y'all haven't seen the crazy stuff that's going on with the bodies that are being washed up. And now the theory, the allegation that we're deporting people and dropping them in the water. There's so much happening, and so many people want to do right things. There are a lot of people that want to do the right thing, but this is not entertainment. I am not here to entertain. I'm here to work. I'm here for a goal. I wake up in the morning, I just start looking. I start researching what I need to do. I look at where I need to go. I balance that with little things that happen. Like the people that come to your door and ask you to look at your roof, and maybe you have like me. I had a medical appointment this morning. I'm balancing life just like everyone else is. But the serious problem is, with everything that's going on, $6.8 billion. I got kids who go to public school. I want them to get the money that I paid for them to have. I want that to happen. If you didn't know, now you know. Now you know. No, you can go read the article. I'm not going to Substack that. I'm just here to say politics is not supposed to be entertaining, because the things that they're doing, they have real consequences. So if you're looking for entertainment, if you're looking for, hey, every time you get on here, you need to have your makeup done, you need to have you need to be in the most pristine look. Cut it out. Cut it out. Some of us are studying in the middle of the night. We're trying to work out just life itself and still be where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there. This is a multifaceted thing that has to happen. And the one thing I'm not going to be concerned about is how I look. I'm not going to be concerned about whether or not you get to hear me use bad language to find out if indeed you can identify with me, identify with the problems that are going on, identify with what I'm putting out, and if you're in that affected position. Because I can guarantee you a lot of us are. I don't know how this big, beautiful bill thing is going to turn out. I do need to put some timelines in there that I do not like, because by the time everything kicks in, it's kind of like the whole, hey, of all of these, if all these tax things are happening, how did we end up dealing with a lot of the tax problems under the Biden administration? That's because of Congress. Bottom line. But the reality to me is this: why didn't we see the Biden administration and Congress pushing every bit of power they had, every bit of loophole information they had, in order to say that if those tax cuts were so bad, we needed to stop them? You know why we didn't see it? Because both sides were benefiting. There it is. Both sides were benefiting. You know who's not benefiting, who they keep saying were the most least beneficial? All the citizens, us, who can't do anything about it. Let's fix that. That's why I'm here saying this is not entertainment. These rules, these regulations, these stipulations, the things that these judges are doing. Matter of fact, I wanted to bring this up to you guys. Something that I had to go look up. It was something that was brought to my attention yesterday evening. There was a section in the Big Beautiful Bill 70302. I'm not even going to call it a hidden provision, a secret thing. Look, the pages are out there. They're accessible. You just got to read them all and go through it. Here it is. No court of the United States may enforce a contempt citation for failure to comply with an injunction or temporary restraining order if no security was given when the injunction order was issued pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 65. Here it is. I had to break this down in plain English. Courts rarely require security bonds. This means to pay money before something happens, especially in constitutional cases. So you get to bring up a case and they don't require you to pay money for the damages of bringing up the case that the case may cause. Here it is. Without bonds, court orders become unenforceable under this provision. Guys, that's all of them. That's the previous ones too. Government officials can ignore court orders with no consequences. Citizens lose their primary protection against government overreach. This is in the bill, section 70302. Here are the implications. Makes court orders meaningless. If courts don't require expensive security bonds, which they rarely do, their orders become unenforceable suggestions. They have retroactive, this means you can put them again to things that had already happened, application. Affects all existing court orders. Hundreds of civil rights, environmental, and constitutional protections would become unenforceable immediately. Disproportionately harms regular citizens. Only wealthy individuals and corporations can afford security bonds, effectively pricing ordinary citizens out of constitutional protection. That's a lot. When I tell you there's always something that's happening, and when you have to go through, we have to go through all these pages. So what we're hearing right now is, hey, Medicare, Medicaid, whoa. Let's talk about the laws. Let's talk about the judicial system that you also put in the bill. There's more than just Medicare, Medicaid, and insurance. There's more than just veterans' problems. There's more than just housing. There's more than just education. This bill is touching the fabric of the American Constitution and the American system. It's touching the fabric of it. And that's what's important. That's why the bill should be voted down, specifically because it's touching entirely too many areas to say that we need to rush this through so that we can have a deadline done before July 4th, which, quite frankly, I'm confused about in the first place. Because you tell me, please, in the past 20 years, what on earth are we supposed to still be happy about? Don't get me wrong. When we had the Civil War, this is super important. When we had the Civil War, right, we had a mentality where brothers, sisters, cousins, grandmas, uncles, all of these family members, if you were against the other person's thought process, you met on a battlefield pointing your gun at your family member. Hello, we're still here today. There are still people that are willing to hurt another family member because they don't think the same as you do. We haven't gotten that far past that. I'm just simply saying, in our generation, what are we proud of? I know what they were proud of back then. I was born in 1982. Civil rights had already been won. What are we proud of today? What are we doing today? We got people marching in the streets saying, deport all of these people. We have people marching in the street, God help us all, in 2025, literally chanting white nation. What is going on? As I was born in the United States of America in Shreveport, Louisiana, I joined the United States Navy and did 22 years in that organization. I retired in Florida. And I would easily say that throughout my entire naval career, they talked nothing. They only really talked about inclusion, ensuring that everybody felt inclusive. And now in 2025, just being equal is a problem. Just including all the people here who've done all the things to help out is an issue. And that's where we are. I mean, I'm just flabbergasted at where we are today. And the sole thing that I want to do is I want to put more power in the hands of citizens to make sure that citizens believe all this stuff that's happening. Because we would not see any change, apparently. We would see the exact same thing happen. We would see citizens say that I absolutely am not part of the 13 million people that are going to be affected. That the 60% that make less than 85,000, the majority, I don't even understand that, because literally 60% of the whole means the majority of Floridians do not make more than 85,000. That's what it means. And you would still vote to say, raise all of my prices on me. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. So, with that being said, before I just really get on this long tangent that I've already been on, let's walk this back. Let's do what we can. Go to my website, download the petition, take it to your supervisor's elections office, go to the Substacks, educate yourself, look at what's going on, share it with your friends. We got to do something different as citizens, because our representatives, they are running amok and they are uncontained right now. And citizens, before we go battling with fists, before we take it that far, before all of this stuff goes bad, let's try to do it this manner, because everybody knows, history has shown, once you get pushed to that wall, you're just there. And there may be people that are already there. I'm just not there yet. So this is my ploy as a candidate for governor of Florida. Let's get it right. Let's do something different, do something better, and get this right. You guys have a great day.